Okay, so that's the classification end of the business. That's the tagging of our taxonomy. All right, but in addition to our classification tools, we also use another expert system toolkit, which is called the Expert Systems Extraction Technology. All right, so what is the difference between the tagging and the classification? So extraction is also known as data text mining, also known as data mining. And it is defined as the automated semantic analysis of text through machine learning and extracting the information and the data points into meaningful data for analysis and research. So unlike applying tags to articles, we're actually reading the articles and extracting out the facts from the articles. All right, and I'm going to show you a little bit of an example of that. So this provides the end user with sophisticated knowledge enrichment platform that delivers extracted facts, extracted business events, like M&A events, entities like companies and organizations, people, and much more. All right, so let me give you an example of this, all right? All right, so here's an example. Here's an article. Just as an example, imagine this is a paragraph or a sentence that comes through. The system basically, by setting up a template of the desired information we want, the system's going to read and automatically pull out the data fields from the article that we're looking for. So unlike the DJID, where it would have tagged this article about crime, we're actually telling the system to read the article and only deliver back the important events and store it in a structured format. Okay, so that's extraction. All right, so here's another good example of what extraction can do for you. All right, it helps discover relationships. So this is another example. Instead of individual event extraction, and what I mean by that was like the crime example I just showed you. That was an individual article. It read it, extracted the crime, the person, the amount of the crime, etc. Instead of individual event extraction, you can use multiple events. They can be compiled and studied to reveal and discover new relationships. So let me explain what this means. Each one of these stories are individual reports of perhaps a single event or headline, right? And because all 4 stories come in over weeks to months apart, it's difficult to connect the dots between all the stories. So look at story 1. Right here, we're extracting investors filed a lawsuit, right, against ABC Therapeutics, and that's what the story was about. Now let's imagine weeks later, CellStat and ABC finalize a partnership agreement. That's what that story is about. No mention of ABC Therapeutics in the lawsuit, right? The story is about the partnership, right? And then we got story 3 comes in a month later announcing that Biomed Corp has now become a supplier for ABC Therapeutics. And then finally, or not finally, there's 2 more, story 4 comes in and Biomed Corp acquires Marks Reed, right? And then finally, story 5, the FDA announces a product rejection. So through the extraction, you begin to connect the dots and you begin to discover facts that are related, but not explicitly stated in one story. So imagine I'm in the newsroom or I'm a researcher and I just want to find out which companies are impacted by this FDA rejection. And as you can see on the screen, because we built and extracted each one of these stories, they're all somewhat connected, right? Because of this FDA rejection. All right, so very, very, very powerful.